Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to today's conversation. And welcome to I'm Sarah Jane, and we should have Enolia with us, and we're not too sure what's going on. So she may just jump in and join us. So fingers crossed she does. And our guest, because it is our guest today, is Michelle Reinhardt, a spiritual life coach. Michelle, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Sarah, thank you so much. It's an absolute honor. I've been excited all day. Thank you.
Yes, because of course it's morning for me here in the UK, but you're in Australia, and of course it's your late afternoon, isn't it?
Yes, it is. My work day is officially finished. Not that it's really a work day, it's more of a play day.
Yeah. And that's the joy of loving the work that we do. It's not work, is it?
No, my dad actually said to me, because he was an entrepreneur, and he said to me very early days, find something that you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And there are days that I would rather be at the beach or doing something else, but you know, that can come later. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to be able to see people's lives shift and have a hand in that. It's really special.
And you know, that's along the lines, I believe, of what we're going to be talking about today, the Quantum Shift Alignment Party and 4 Steps to Freedom. So would you like to just let me know what you mean by that? Because obviously people will have their own interpretation of that.
Absolutely. Thank you. So the 4 Steps to Freedom program about as an extension of my one-on-one healing, because people would come and they would receive a fabulous healing treatment and they would be shifted energetically and they would leave. And sometimes, more often than not, I wouldn't see them again. But I knew that they couldn't sustain the energy, that their newfound energy going back into their life and living it the way that they were, because we just resort back to where we were if we don't know how to shift that. So the 4 Steps to Freedom program came about to help people understand basically who they are as a soul, why they're here, and what their purpose is, and how to shift. And this is where the Quantum Shift Alignment Party comes in, how to shift from the funk to fun.
Yeah.
Easily. And the second we introduce a party or fun, energy shifts so quickly. It's much, much easier than people think it is. So that was I had spent a lot of my life thinking that this has to be easier than it is. Life in general.
Yeah, and many of us are here supporting people in our own unique way to find themselves, to heal the inner child, the hurt, the trauma from the past, that enables us to step into that fun aspect of life, which should be the major aspect of life.
It should be. But unfortunately, we're not wired like that. And our mainstream doesn't support that.
Yeah.
For some strange reason. We're the anomaly by being free and sovereign and independent and, dare I say it, happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does. It breaks my heart when I ask people to tap into the energy of happiness and joy and they can't find it.
I think for me, knowing my own story, and I think that's what people have to realize is we don't have to live in our story, but our awareness of our story. And with a lot of people's work, you don't have to revisit the pain and the trauma. It's a connection with the self at that time to heal the self. It's not about revisiting the trauma, but the traumas create real insecurities and a low behavior of self-preservation and protection, which of course isn't a life of fun and laughter and experiences. It is a life that is so enclosed in a very tight box.
Yeah. And it's a very painful tight box as well. Yeah, and it is real. I agree with you 100%. Nothing can be more real than not being able to pay your bills or not being able to put food on the table or being homeless. I have actually been all of those things. And I know that, and I love to help people understand that our journey and our story helps us mold our future. It's not our future. And our biggest lessons in life come from our toughest programming and our toughest experiences. And when you can start to see those as gifts, and you do have the benefit of hindsight with years, don't you? I know it's pretty useless at the time, but when you can step back and say, wow, if I hadn't have lost my house, if I hadn't have lost everything and knew what it felt like to have a sheriff knocking on the door, I would not appreciate what the journey that I've taken to be abundant, to live in abundance. And, you know, the joy in that, it wraps back into finding our purpose, because the things that we've really had to haul our asses out of are the things that we're good at. And that's aligns with what we need to be looking at doing to have joy.
Oh, and everybody's, I call it wake up call.
Yeah.
Comes differently. You've only got to listen to so many of the people out there, some of the really big names of today and the big names of the past, and their journey. It's been about that wake up call. You know, the wake up, because I was living my life as a people pleaser, and I'm really pleased I didn't have children, because the wake up call would have been really, really hard. It was hard enough on the people around me as it was, but boy, it was just like, oh, actually I haven't got to be a people pleaser, because my jaw got broken, so I had 6 months of pain and sleepless nights, no energy at all, because I couldn't sleep. Or I got so little sleep that I was exhausted. That was my wake-up call.
I bet it was.
And it was just like, but, oh, boy. Yeah, no, it wasn't fun to go through. I would, as you're talking about being homeless, no, I wouldn't wish these things on anybody. I really wouldn't. But, oh, boy, do I see it as a gift. Because it helped me to take my life back. It wasn't a matter of it gave me my life back. That was up to me to take.
Oh, yeah.
So suddenly it was that awareness that, why am I worrying about what other people think? They aren't thinking about me because they've got all the stuff that's going on in their own life.
Yes, yes.
And it was just like that. And it was just like, so why am I worrying about it? Get on with your own life. And then it started when I did leave my marriage. My mother's reaction, look at what you're giving up. Okay, so we practically own our home and we own everything in it. And we have 3-4 holidays a year. So what?
Yeah.
That is not helping me. That is not a life that is keeping me happy.
So you went and found one, huh?
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I was accused of running away, and it was just like, no, actually, if you like, I'm running into my future.
Yeah.
But then that's other people's perception of things. It's realizing that we know what's going on within us when we start to open up to who we are. We know what's going on within us. We know why we are doing things. And it doesn't matter what other people think or say for us knowing our truth.
That's right. It's the only thing.
Yeah.
I think it's Rumi that has the quote that I had on my screensaver for years and years while I was resetting was the we will go without until we go within.
Yeah.
And as you say, it doesn't matter what other people think. But what I'd like to segue into there, if I may, is the reason why it's so difficult to shift for a lot of people. Because, as you know, there are a lot of energies pouring in, a lot of upgrades, a lot of platonic light, a lot of things going on, and people are rattled. Our world is rattled at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And what helps my people enormously is recognizing that they are not, it's not real, it's all vibrational. And given that it is vibrational, it means that there are variants. And once we own where we're at, whether it be good, bad, perfect, evil, ugly, whatever, and accept is the key word, accept that things are as they are, and step into that power of sovereignty and choice, and start making decisions based on higher vibrational things. What happens, unfortunately, is all of the lower vibrational stuff falls away, as did your marriage, as did mine. And I say to a lot of my clients when they come to me without their husband, I say, he needs to come. Otherwise, there's a 90% chance he is not going to go anywhere with you. You guys have got to do this work together if you're going to survive. And that's proven right every single time for me. If they can do it together, they can grow together spiritually, learn the laws, learn the language of the universe, learn to adjust together, then it can be very, very special. But when one grows, they're, if you like, up on this beautiful frequency band of joy and happiness, and even if it's just hopefulness as opposed to hopelessness, these two aren't going to match. And that's why a lot of people are feeling very lost and very alone, because the people that have been their family and friends to date, if you've awakened and you've stepped up into your truth and you're curious and no one else is, there's going to be a mismatch and you're going to feel very lost and very alone, because you literally are vibrating at a different frequency. And there comes a time, as you did, that we have to choose to find a new tribe that's going to support us, that's going to walk with us, it's going to help us, it's going to love us unconditionally. And this is where we start to find our soul tribe, our star beings, the ones we've traveled with for years and years and years. And I must say, in the last 5 years, I've probably got 1, maybe 2 of my old friends left. Did you find when your life shifted that you shifted people as well?
Now, that's a very interesting one for me. One, because of my insecurities. Other than actual family, on the whole, I always left people behind, because I never expected relationships of any sort to last.
Okay.
So when you're in that insecure place, not expecting things to last, you create that. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Of course it is.
When I moved to where I am, it was the beginning, but I have no understanding of that beginning at all. I just knew it was the start of a new beginning. And I met an amazing bunch of people, a beautiful group of friends, but they are not on this path.
Okay.
But they are still with me 20 odd years later, because all my changes, they accept me for who I am, because I accept them for who they are.
Yeah.
And every now and again, they may start asking questions. And so we aren't always going to lose everyone. It can be, we may not spend as much time with each other. And obviously with this past year, we don't have any time with each other. But we can meet up and it's as if we've never been apart. They are an amazing bunch of people, but they're not fully on this path. I think some of them might, dipped their toe every now and again. Some of them have experienced metamorphic techniques. Some of them have enjoyed Indian head massage from me, so they are, but whether they will ever fully open, it's their choice.
That's right, it is.
And that is just it. We don't have to leave things behind, but if they choose to drift away, let them. Because if they are uncomfortable, and then they will, because they will become uncomfortable with that energy that you bring.
That's right. One of the joys of growing, I guess, is being able to hold myself at a place where I actually really like who I am now. And it doesn't matter what other people say or think. In fact, I never have anyone question that, because I am just so okay with being imperfectly perfect. It's totally okay. And I expect to make mistakes. Oh God, I don't want to be perfect. How boring would that be? But I know too that when I hold my own vibration at the level of my soul signature, others can either take that or leave that, and that's okay. It's totally okay. As you say, some may ask questions, some may not. It's their journey. It's not for us to judge. It's not for us to even try and manipulate and maneuver as much as we do sometimes when we're starting out, because it's so much better.
Oh yes, you said. Oh yeah, and even before I found the Reiki, which was it was the start of my journey when I started taking control of my own life. It was finding Reiki, which was the real start to my own healing.
Yes.
And even before that, then I was working in an office. I was working in insurance, but I was always, not always, but most of the time, bright and cheerful. And my answering of the phone was always bright and cheerful. And one customer rang early one morning and he said, "Sarah, will you bottle what you're on for me, please?" and another client sort of said to me, "You're always so bright and cheerful first thing in the morning." And it was just like, well, which would you prefer to experience? She said, "Oh no, what you do."
Yes.
And it's and that's the lovely thing, and because there was no from neither of them, and certainly from the lady, there was no criticism of it. It was, do I want to bring people, hopefully help bring people up to my vibration, my energy level, or do I actually want to hear somebody on the phone so blooming miserable at 9 o'clock in the morning because they've had to go into work that they actually bring me down? So which would you prefer? You go off the phone and thinking, "Oh, that was lovely," and it raises your vibration for the day.
Yeah, exactly. It does. And then you find that because of the laws of the universe, you send out that vibrational frequency and you become a match to others on that frequency. So this is where we find people that are more upbeat, that are happier, that are optimistic, rather than pessimistic. And then we start to, rub shoulders with those types, and more expansion occurs, and it just synchronicities and coincidences. Are there such a thing? I don't think so. But it's all different depending on how you feel. That's the first indicator. If you're feeling happy and optimistic, then if you really do look around your life, is a very good indicator of how things are going. I know for me, when all of that trouble was going on with me, I was in the lowest of lowest places I could possibly be. And my house was a mess. I just didn't care that much. Now though, because I just love my life so much more, it works. It just works. Everything falls into place. One of the biggest things that really shifts in the quantum field, and the work that I do and a lot of other practitioners do as well, is when we stop focusing on the past and we start focusing forward. There are too many people that I meet that really don't know what they want in life. They're just spinning their wheels, and they're just turning up to their job, and they're just doing things because that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And that is just not good enough anymore for me.
Yeah.
If that's what they want and they're genuinely happy there, then great and good for them. But they generally just haven't thought that there can be a different way. It doesn't have to be pain and suffering. And I have said for, probably 5 years or so now, as a healer, I will work on 100% being the top of the scale. 20% of the work I do is in the past and the healing. I'm a spiritual hypnosis practitioner and angelic Reiki master. So 20% of the work I do is working on the past, on the ancestral line and inner child work and all of that. 80% of the work I do is forward focused. How great can your life be? And what can we do to get those wheels in motion? And once we start looking at all of the things that we shelved when we were kids, the things that we daydreamed about, the things that we thought that, oh no, I'll never have that, so I won't even worry about it. You know, daydreaming gets busted out of us at school. We get told, don't look out. How many report cards did you get that had that she was a big daydreamer, and if she focused more on her study, she'd be a better student?
I was never a particularly brilliant student, full stop. not because I didn't pay attention. I think it was just, maybe I just wasn't interested in what was being taught. You know, I muddled through. But I think maybe that's exactly what life is until such time as we find, or it finds us, whatever we bring about that what we wish to do.
Yeah,
you know, the wake up call was such that came, but obviously then I still ended up with a lot of jobs, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know what I was here for, and I had a friend that kept saying to me, "What do you enjoy doing? What do you know?" And it was just like, but I love walking, but go and be a guide then. And it was just like, that, as much as I love walking, that didn't resonate with me. And there has to be an element of patience. Yes, I'd started by doing my level 1 Reiki, level 2 learning metamorphic technique. I was learning anatomy and physiology, etc., going on to do Indian head Thai foot. So yes, we all go on and we learn different things. And then suddenly it was, I know what I'd like to do. If we let go of the words want and need, leaves you with the wanting, I need leaves you with the needing. What would I like to do? What are my choices?
I have what would I love to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I could do the therapies. And, you know, the friend was, and I said, well, you can charge, and this is going back a few years now. Oh, can you? Right. Okay, so you only need to get X clients a week or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like that's ever worked. But I'm still here. I'm still doing it. You know, I've set up Gift of Healing TV. You know, we're having these conversations, which I hope Enolia is okay.
Me too. I'm sending her love. I'm sending her light.
So, you know, and that's all I can ever be. But maybe she just hasn't got an internet connection, so we have no idea. Technology does, but we've also got to trust the universe. And it was. And the whole of life is about, yes, it's not a matter of sit back and say, okay, now a friend of mine who's also done Reiki with the same Reiki master. And he said, do you know what? I used to think, I've done Reiki now, they'll be queuing up at the door. And he said, it's not like that at all. No, because we have to let people know that we work with the energy. And we've very much been taught it's about offering the energy, not giving the energy, so that it's not about us being in control. It's about the individual who's on the receiving end. As with all the techniques, it isn't about the giving. It is about the offering. You keep using the word healer, which is to a certain degree, and everybody has to use words that are right for them. Please don't. I'm not saying anything against your use of the word, but for me, I'm not a healer. The only person I can heal is me. However, what I do is I bring a tool, an empowerment that is offered to the individual to empower, to awaken their own self-healing. Because at the end of the day, unless they choose to participate in their own healing journey, and as you said, you got them so far, but how do you take them beyond? Sometimes it's, I've got you so far, there is someone else for the next
step.
That's
That's right.
It is so important to trust the process. What do you enjoy? What speaks to you? Is there something else you are learning while you are doing this job that is really so unfulfilling? Trust yourself. Let yourself be guided by you and what feels good, what feels right.
Yeah, life gives us clues.
Yeah.
It's dropping clues. It's like Hansel and Gretel, the breadcrumb trail. All the way along, life is giving us clues. What I've found is when I take people back through hypnosis or even just a simple conversation to find what they enjoy, what they love, usually it's second nature to them, so much so that they do not even think that it's special. But it will be something that people come to them all the time for advice over. And they will have, at some point, like for myself, I picked up massage and remedial massage and quite a few different energy techniques in my early 20s. And then I went and had a family, and which I love, my girls. I have two beautiful grown-up girls. And again, when I went back to it, I lost myself in 15 years. I fell fast asleep. Yeah. Like I may as well have just been thrown in a cave and the rock put over, truly. I don't know what or how. Don't even know. Don't even care anymore. But when I really started again, it was divine intervention. There's no question about it. The property that I needed to recommence my healing business was presented. It was affordable. Everything just landed into, like, even I went and stocked up all my towels and everything from op shops, and everywhere I went, they'd have the colours that I wanted, and it was just perfectly aligned. And there was just, at one point I stopped and I thought, am I being foolish thinking this can work? And I just thought to myself, really, girl? Really? Just keep going. Keep going. This is, and I do. I'm one of the few practitioners around that has a full book. We've had 2 weeks of lockdown. I now have 40 people on my waiting list because I haven't been able to see people for 2 weeks. It's a beautiful, beautiful business. And I am in the business, as you are, of empowering people to step into their truth, empowering people to take control of their healing. Before anyone comes to see me, they have to send me 3 things that they want to receive during our treatment. I will not let people just say, you do it. That's not empowering. That's not them taking their power. That's not them stepping into their truth. And am one of the most nurturing and loving people that I know. And I love people that finally have that aha, that realize that, you know, we are 90% light beings. Only 10% of us is human.
Yeah.
But we're hell-bent on doing the human. And it doesn't work for so many people.
The human aspect, though, is we're here to experience. We're here to experience
100%.
so many different things. The experience because our souls can't. Our soul, our spirit
That's right.
lives in and comes from and only knows love.
That's it.
Love
That's it.
is all there is. This human experience, it is about the experiences. And some will find it very difficult to accept the fact that some of the toughest experiences that we go through, we have chosen to go through. And I wouldn't change a thing in my life. Not one little thing, because I wouldn't be where I am doing what I'm doing right now. And I love it. But going back to your point of everything just seemed to flow when you made that decision.
Yes.
When I left my marriage, the next thing we knew was that I was about to be made redundant.
Oh, wow. Yay.
And I got the opportunity to move to where I now live, in Bournemouth. And suddenly everything flowed because I had let go of what was not working in my life. And I have seen a quote that says, if your path is easy, you're probably on the wrong path. And I really actually do not agree with that in any way, shape or form. If your path is easy, it is because you are following your path. Yes, there are going to be humps and bumps, but you finding the right tails, me finding the right house when I moved down here, everything, taking the redundancy in the end and walking into a new job within 6 days. So I didn't have any spell of actual unemployment because that 6 days was over Easter.
Wow.
So it was just accepting the fact that sometimes when everything had to fall apart for it to start to fall together again.
That's right. Yes. That's another famous quote that I love too.
I absolutely love that. Yeah.
You said a few key words in there, Sarah, that one of which was making a decision.
Yeah.
There's a word that we have to eliminate from our vocabulary on top of want and need, and that is try. Are you going to do it or are you not? Make a decision. This is, for me, stepping into our power, not in a ruthless way, in a loving way, and being gutsy enough to say, I love you, but I love me more. And honouring yourself to the point where you put you first. And most of the mums on the call or listening to this recording will, I'd say, 99.999% would say that they always put their children first. We're taught that. As little girls, we're taught to have the last, the smallest portion, the bit of burnt toast. We're taught that from little, and I'm not begrudging our parents for that in any way, shape or form, but that's the way it was, but it's not anymore. Now we are in times of change. We are in times of empowerment. We are alive. We are awake. We are in this field of abundance, and we are being pushed to thrive, not just survive anymore. But you have to be the one that makes that decision, that picks up the phone and calls for help or books that appointment. it isn't going to come to you. It might actually. A lot of things do come and land in my lap, but you have to be open. You have to accept. You also have to surrender. You can't change the past. It's, as you said, you wouldn't change it anyway if you could. But it's no point hanging on to that. Most of it's not even true anyway. The lies of the mind, the games, the nonsense that goes on around and around and around. If you can stop and take my throat chakra's going nuts here. Pardon me. Yeah, I'm on a roll. But please just sit down and take the time to figure out what you want, what you desire, what will make you happy. And then make the decision to just take a step towards it, and things start to shift, don't they?
Oh, it's how do you introduce yourself to people, especially when you're with a husband or with your children or with a wife, because if it's gentleman's watching, it's same. Mm-hmm. Do you introduce yourself as to, I'm so-and-so's wife, so-and-so's husband, so-and-so's children, mother or father? Or do you say, hi, I'm Sara. I'm so-and-so's. I am Sara. First and foremost, I am.
I am that I am.
And as you put, and it is about saying, this is who I am. I just happen to be a mother, a wife, a daughter, a cousin, a sibling. But actually, I am me.
Yeah.
First and foremost. And I was listening to a program, do you know, I think it was only yesterday lunchtime. It's a program called Loose Women that we have here in the UK. And there was this, most of the presenters weren't quite on the same page, but this woman was really, no, I am the girlfriend, I am the wife, I am.
No, they're labels.
Bless you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
It is about who you are, not about what you are. We are about being a being and not a doing.
That's right.
Our job, we are who we are.
And we are so much more than what we think we are.
Oh, absolutely. Things that have happened in my life sort of since obviously stepping into my path, my journey, if you like, my power, if you want to use that word. And it's just like channeling from many mythical beings, working with dragons, okay, she does that. I work with sound energy, toning the voice. So you were talking about your throat chakra. That is so about speaking your truth.
It was coming out. I was on a roll.
And it is just like, and it's trusting that, because all of that is channeled. Boy, am I one massive channel. How much of what has been shared today has been actually about channeling the energies from above that has encouraged us to have this conversation.
Channeling the energies from above or from within?
Is it not one and the same, actually?
That's right. That's one of my key teachings and learnings, for that matter, has been that we already are all we've been seeking. We are enough, more than enough. And we're taught again to pray outside of ourselves. We pray to God. It's in here.
Yeah.
Everything is in here. And the answers lie in the stillness, not the busyness. The answers lie in love, in the softness, not in the hustle and the hurry. It's all backwards and roundabout. And once we get curious and start living in the question and start really getting excited about what is possible as opposed to what is not, everything changes. Everything changes. And it becomes, I never thought I'd be as excited in my life as a 50-plus year woman than I am every morning. I'm just as excited as I used to be when I used to wake up and Santa had come. I wake up and my eyes spring open and I just think to myself, how blessed am I? What is going to happen today? Let's go and play. My team are with me. My guides are there. It's just fun. My partner's amazing. My girls are brilliant. It's just, I don't remember so much anything else anymore. And I want that for everyone, to have that peace of mind, of heart, to have a brain that doesn't belittle you, begrudge things, to be joyful, to know what passion is and bliss is. And to just have that is just exquisite.
That comes with the healing of self, the healing of your past, to me.
Yeah, the acceptance of it too.
Acceptance of it, gratitude.
Yes.
You know, but I'm grateful for the fact that I chose it. I chose the scolding as a baby, the 3 months hospitalization, the being separated from my parents, because that has helped me to bring forth the energies and the understanding, the empathy.
Absolutely.
Of that feeling unwanted, unworthy, not good enough, unloved, etc., etc. You name it, I felt it.
Yes. Yeah.
Do I understand? Absolutely. Can you step away from that and into the beautiful, loving being that you are? But yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
But love isn't about saying yes to everything. Love is about knowing when to say yes and when to say no. Love,
that's right.
Some of the greatest gifts you will ever receive will come from a no, not from a yes.
That's it.
Love is gentle, but love is very, very strong.
Yes, yes.
And if you receive a no from love, and that is, and there are still people who are struggling with this receiving no. No is just, right, you don't care. You won't do what I want you to do to help me.
But,
well, actually,
no. Yeah, that's an ego. That's a game of the ego, that one.
Yeah. Who is being selfish in those circumstances?
That's right.
And I think that's the trouble, is that words, and people are going to listen to this and they're going to be, that some of the words I've used, some of the words you've used, they could hold a slightly different meaning. Now, there's a perfect example of that this week with a friend, and it's just something very simple. The word aisle, A-I-S-L-E. So the aisle in a shop, the aisle in a church. And this friend had asked me to go and get something in one of the supermarkets, and he said it's down that particular aisle, or the aisle across from that one, actually, is what he said. And I went looking at the aisle across, because to me, the aisle is the space between.
Oh.
It wasn't in that aisle. I said, no, I found it in the same aisle, just in the opposite rack. Well, that's the aisle. No, the aisle is the space between. This person sees the aisle as being the series of racks, not the space between the racks. That is the difference to people's understanding of words. And he hadn't gone and looked it up. He's usually pretty good at going and looking these things up. I said, no, the aisle is the space between, not the actual racks. That's my perception. Maybe I should look it up. but you don't call it an aisle in the church and it's the sets of seats.
No, they're the pews, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yes.
You walk down the aisle.
The aisle, that's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, that takes it out of this conversation, but helps people to realize that there are different perceptions and understanding of words.
Yes, and many of our words are negatively geared.
Yeah.
If you look back to the Latin meaning of them, they're actually they're the opposite to what we think they are. So our language, our languaging is very, very important. The words we use, the words we choose, they definitely start the train of the energy that we receive back from it. So it's very important. When I start working with people, it's very interesting because we start doing the checklist of the words that we rely on. Oh, what's a classic example here? Just a basic salutation here. No worries, an Aussie thing you say. Yeah, I'll do that for you, no worries. Double negative, no, and worries. Yeah. So you're bringing a no and you're bringing lots more worries just by saying to someone, yeah, I'll take care of that, no worries. Bang, the negative, the lesser energy is the one that holds the force. So I'm literally saying to you, you're going to get a shitload of worries. Look forward to it. You know? Whereas my girls and myself and anyone that works with me will say, that's easy. Sure, that's easy. I'll take care of that. I've got it. And it's just completely different. You're sending someone away with easy energy, knowing that you've got their back. It's completely different, and it's such a simple thing. And when you start really looking at the words that, I'm sure not yourself, but lots of people start really looking at the words that they use, just throwaway lines. People, I hate that. Oh, that's a strong word. Do you really hate it, or do you just not want to do it? Like, because you can change that. You know? You can change that so quickly and have a completely different thing turn up in your next. We have to be very present. We have to be very mindful. We have to be conscious in our creations to shift our lives, particularly in the quantum field, with it moving so fast. Because everything we say, think, feel, be, and do, we are creating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the more conscious we are with our habits and our patterns and our programming, in shifting that into a higher vibrational frequency, the more fun our life becomes and the faster it happens. It's quite extraordinary.
The really important thing for me is thinking about the words you use on you.
Yes.
When, if you drop something, it's, oh, bless. Sort of you choose the words you use, but you don't use the derogative terms. And I don't
exactly.
Personally, I don't even really want to use them even here as an example. Because
I think we all know the names.
It's just, and even if I haven't achieved as much as I would like in the morning, you've done really well. Praise yourself. You're driving and somebody cuts you up. It's bless you. And I do. I have to take a bit of a breath. I don't, because I used to swear. I'm not a great swearer. I really have never been. But oh boy, could the air get blue in the car. Especially in those years when I was doing an awful lot of miles in a year because of the jobs I had. But out of the car, people weren't, and I tried not to obviously do it with people in the car, but I did a lot of driving on my own. But out of the car, people didn't hear me swear. I just didn't do it. And I remember on one occasion, I was staying in somebody's home and they all looked at me. We were all standing around doing the washing up, whatever, afterwards. And there was sudden silence. And everybody, I said, what's the matter? Sarah, you swore. It was just like, Oh, right, you've never been in the car with me then. but I try not to do that today.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
It is really, really important to keep those vibrations high.
It is. Life's easier.
Especially for you. Yeah, there's someone I know, and they've done an awful lot of work on themselves, but they will use, I can't remember, I think it's using the word, oh, you are a ditz or something like that, which isn't necessarily that. And I do say to them, oh, please don't talk to yourself like that.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I understand, that I'm saying it lovingly. And I'm thinking, yeah, but your vibrational energy is hearing the telling off, the less than you should be.
Yes, of course.
Rather than being all that you absolutely are.
Mm.
And so it is the words we use to ourselves. Don't get me wrong, folks. It has taken me a long time to get to this point. It is not I'm going to start doing this. Some of you may be able to do that. You literally flip a switch. I haven't been able to flip a switch. Maybe my switch has been because I use affirmations. Find what works for you that helps you to feel better about yourself. Because, as I say, and I say it to myself, everyone is special in their own unique way. No one is more or less special than anybody else. No,
I totally agree with that. And what a beautiful world it will be when everybody is standing in their own light and their own strength and their own sovereignty. And we get to join together and bring everybody up instead of seeing all of the pushing down that we do.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to hold as an intention, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to happen. We're finding each other. And anyone that's here on this call or watching a replay or anything, you're never alone. Never. Not even if you try to be. But you do have to ask for help, because that's the start of it. And surrender and receive and allow. And it is vital that you put yourself first on this journey and you find that light, that spark, the essence of yourself, your uniqueness, your specialness, as you say, Sarah, and bring that to the table. And that's when you light up the room and you don't even try, because it's unmistakable. The most beautiful people in the world are those that have that inner knowing that they are enough, more than enough.
And you just mentioned that word again, alone, because I thought we mentioned it earlier. Learn to be alone with yourself.
Exactly, yes.
Learn, so many people go from relationship to relationship to relationship without giving them any space to know who they are.
Very true. I made that mistake a few times myself, I must admit.
Yeah. Oh, I love me time. I adore it. I could quite happily go back to living on my own again. But, yeah, absolutely. And so I think we have shared so much here.
We have.
I'm really sorry Enolia didn't get to join us, and hopefully we will get to hear why, and she is okay. And that's all the energy we can send out, is that you're okay.
That's right.
And it was just something daft like technology. Sorry, technology, you're not daft. You really are. I love you dearly, but do this. Michelle, anything you would like to share before we wind up?
Well, I'd like to extend my hand in friendship, in love, in grace to anyone that is looking for a community, somewhere to hang out, to gain inspiration, to share your wisdom and be in a space that nurtures your soul growth. And I'm sure that will be placed in the link, but I have a beautiful community on Facebook called Freedom, the Quantum Way. And it is a gorgeous space. It just is. A lot of my clients hang out in there, and we have a lot of fun. We bring a lot of wisdom to the table. It's beautiful. What I would love to invite and encourage our listeners, Sara, is to go looking within and find that which makes you unique, and then your life will change. That's why you're here. We weren't incarnated to be small. We were born to stand out, but we need all of us to do that, so that as a galaxy, as a planet, we can ascend. We can all have a happier and better life. So if there's anything that I can do, and I'm going to speak for you, Sara, that Sara can do, please reach out. We're very findable, very, very approachable. Our hearts are open and full of love.
And
Thank you for the opportunity.
No, it's a pleasure, and I will make sure that our website addresses are also underneath. And Enolia's will be there as well, because I know she hasn't been here, but I'm sure she's been here in spirit.
I'm sure she's been desperately trying to get on, one way, shape, or form. Yeah, it's lovely to meet you, Sara.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for everything that you've shared. I love this conversation. You and I are so much on the same wavelength.
Yeah, we are. I think we kind of knew that before we met, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're here.
Yes.
Our next today's conversation is on Wednesday, the 23rd of June, which will be at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And that is empaths and highly sensitive people navigating around an entrepreneurship world. And that's with Supriya Prasad. So I hope that you will join us for that, because, again, there's going to be much more of this type of conversation within that. We're not into business things. We're about bringing people the energy of their own life. So I hope that you will join us for that. Thank you. Thank you so much indeed for joining us, Michelle. Thank you. Be safe, all of you. And we'll see you again soon. Namaste.
Namaste. Much love.
Bye-bye.